The Canada and UK cross-check on your storefront to build those other storefronts just got put on steroids. I'm really excited to show you guys exactly how this works. Now, just for a little bit of context, what you have right now is version 1. What version 1 does is whenever you open up the shop, it starts checking from the top and works its way down one video card at a time. The problem there is if you've already worked your way down for a little while, the next time you go back to your storefront, you don't necessarily need it to go through all those checks again. It's kind of unnecessary. So I've solved that. You also previously, whenever it does its checks and it finds that there's not a match, it stores that. So that next time, whenever you go to your shop, it's like, don't check this again. We already checked. There's not a match. But a lot of you had incorrect credentials whenever you did that first check. So your availability was skewed. So some of those actually do have matches, but the extension doesn't know it right now because it saw that there wasn't a match previously. I have also updated that particular process. You guys are going to love how this works now. I'm really excited. Sometimes I do something and I tickle myself even. So let's get into it. So first thing always, go to your account, go to preferences, and you're going to make sure that whichever one of these is going to be enabled, that needs to be enabled, do that. If neither one of those are enabled, you're going to come to this page and you're not going to see this button over here that says Enable UK CA Price Checking. I might change the word on that to just say checking, but it's this button right here. If you don't see that at all, it's because, one, either A, you're not a pro subscriber, or B, if you are a pro subscriber, then you don't have those preferences set. So make sure you have at least one of them set, and then this button will appear. Now, whenever we press this, it's going to walk you through this every single time. You guys need to be aware of this every single time that you want to go and run through this process. And this is kind of a nice way to do this because not every time that you go to your storefront do you want to do Canada and UK stuff. Sometimes you're there doing other things. So I set it so that it's only doing the checking whenever you're legitimately intentional about wanting to go through and work on that. So it says how to do this. It says what you need to do. It gives you the delivery codes for those other countries. And it says this should be checked every single time that you run this process. So you're going to check the Canada one. It's going to open in a new tab. And you're going to check the UK one. And on that front page of both of those sites, up in the upper left by the search bar, see what the delivery code says. It needs to be local. I would recommend just using these here that I have already supplied, but it needs to be somewhere like in Toronto for Canada, in London for England, for UK, just to make sure that it is the most populous place to have the most availability. So check these every single time. Don't take it for granted because one day you're going to set it and the next day you're going to go and do this function and those platforms are going to reset those delivery codes somehow. So check this every single time before you start this. Now, once those are set, check this out. It says we're ready to go. Now, this looks different to you, and that's because I want it so that you guys can start from anywhere that you want on the storefront. It's not going to start automatically at the top anymore, so you can scroll down to wherever you feel like you need to. You know, if you marked something as complete or whatever the case is, we're going to keep scrolling down. And let's just start for fun right here. Now, a couple things you're going to notice, again, here different on the screen. One is you can actually see what it's checking in real time. Before, there was no visibility. Your screen was just moving real quick and you couldn't tell what it was even checking and what it was not. Now I put a scrolling identifier banner on it so you can see exactly where it's at, and it's just going to keep, every time that it goes to a new row, it's going to automatically scroll up to keep you focused on what's going on. Just let it run its pace or run through its process. In fact, at the top, there's a new little counter. It says, hang tight, checking 6 of your 20 cards. Now, I set a limit that each time it's going through this process, that it's only going to check 20 campaign cards at a time. Why? A couple things. One is, I don't want you guys scrolling through your whole storefront collecting everything all at once. That's a lot of requests going out to Amazon, and I don't want anybody to get throttled by asking too many times for something over and over and over again. But the other thing is, really, I designed this process in the system so that you would work this from your storefront in batches, right? So you're going to basically, you start at the top of your storefront and you're going to do it in batches. Do your first 20 and take those videos and then go over and upload them to the UK. Whenever you're done, then you can do another 20 again. And so it's going through a batch at a time to make sure, one, that we are not asking too much too often for information, but two, I really want you guys to internalize this process of completing your entire storefront in batches. Whenever you do the entire storefront all at once and you get all that information at once, it gets really overwhelming. This kind of allows you to do it in sections and chunks, and it does it in a way where Amazon doesn't get pissed off that we're asking for too much stuff all at once. Now check this out. Whenever it gets to the 20, your limit, it basically says, okay, look, I don't recommend necessarily that you just keep going for the sake of keeping going. It's your storefront. You can do whatever you want. So if you wanted it to keep going, I have to change this to say from 100 to 20. You can keep going right here if you want. And if you click that, it's just going to resume right where it left off and keep doing more of those checks. But if you feel like, you know what, this is all I'm trying to do, I want to just get these 20 done now, and I'll come back later and I'll find where I left off, and then I'll select and we'll start from there. So in that case, you just do, okay, let me get to work. You can see it is now back to being disabled. You can see the enable buttons there again, and you pick up from basically right where where you left off the next time that you come back in. So it is easier to, one, get set up so that you're making sure to make the accurate calls and getting the right information. And you're going to see more buttons with this. I'm telling you immediately, I recommend everybody start from the top of their storefront again and just start working your way down, because a lot of you that didn't have the right settings set, you're going to see opportunities pop that did not pop before, and you need to see those opportunities. So everybody should probably restart at the top of your storefront and then just start working your way down in batches of 20, right? And if you already got all those and they already look good, then you get to your 20 and go, okay, go ahead, we're gonna keep going and do the next 20. Really excited for you guys on this one here. Now, one other thing that I wanted to mention is under the other actions, if we go to this right here, some of you had reported before that you were seeing other people's videos in here. That's because there was a bug in the system. It didn't impact them and it didn't impact you. It was just collecting incorrect data. So now what this is, it filters all of that stuff out, and ignore the black text here. I am going to make another update so that if you mark something as completed on this page over here, that it will also mark it as completed over here, and then you can hide everything that's completed so that this list will then only show you things that still need to be worked. Some people are going to want to come here and work it from here. It doesn't really matter where you work it from, but again, just as a reminder, this is merely a log of what was already found in the storefront scroll and capture. So that's it. Really excited. This is such a huge jump. You got better visibility, you got better availability, you got better accuracy. Really excited for you guys, and just follow the process. Do 20 at a time, complete those 20, do another 20 whenever you got all those videos already transferred and uploaded to those other ones. Just come back and keep checking those other sites every time whenever you start that process to make sure you got the most up-to-date delivery zip codes. So that's it. Thank you guys again. This is for pro subscribers only, and yeah, good luck.